Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my channel. This is part 41 of ASP.NET Web API. In this video, I'll show you how to import and save Excel file records using Web API in Angular. So guys, the process of importing the Excel file in an Angular application using Web API with a backend of SQL Server database. So after uploading Excel file, the Excel data will be saved in the database, that is SQL Server, and then the record will be shown using Angular UI. So here Web API is used to provide data connectivity between the database and the front-end application is Angular application. So here I am using as Visual Studio Code tool for building the Angular UI application, and Visual Studio I'm using for creating the Web API application to create the endpoints, and these endpoints will be consumed in our Angular application. So guys, in this video we'll discuss few points: create endpoints to save and display Excel data in Web API, design the Angular UI to import and display Excel data, and implement the Bootstrap for responsive in Angular application. So guys, before going through this video, please visit my previous videos related to Angular and Web API. So if you are new to Web API, then go through my playlist called ASP.NET Web API tutorial, and if you are new to Angular application, then you will go through my playlist called Angular CLI tutorial. And also there is one more playlist, Angular latest version tutorial. Here you'll get some basic idea how to create a Angular application and full stack application in Angular using Web API and SQL Server. So this is my channel, and under the playlist you'll get these videos. So let's go to my presentation here. So here guys, I am creating one node which displays all the step-by-step process to follow to create the application. So go to my notepad. So guys, here step 1 is we need to create a table called user details. So I'll go to the SQL Server. So guys, this is the user details table script. These have the columns, and user ID is a primary as well as identity column, and this table has one row as of now. Step 2 is we need to create a audio.entity data model to map the user detail table. So I'll go to my Visual Studio, and this is the Angular, this is my Web API application. Okay, and inside models folder I have created one audio.entity data model. So guys, if you are new to how to create the audio.entity data model, you should go through my playlist ASP.NET Web API tutorial. There I have shown one step-by-step process how to create a audio.entity data model. So once you create the audio.entity data model, the extension should be .edmx, and it also asking which table or procedure you want to map. So I have mapped to this table user details, and once it is successfully created, if you expand that edmx and expand that, and here you'll see that as per the table name it creates one CS file, and this CS file has the same properties whatever the column names in your table. So this is all about the audio.entity data model. Step 3 is check web.config for connection strings. So let's go to the web.config. So guys, remember, when you create a audio.entity data model, no need to create the connection string. By default the system will add the connection string for you. So here models folder you can add multiple types of edmx or audio.entity data model. So here I can see two audio.entity data model, so that it's showing two connection string type. But for this video I am using this Satya model.edmx, so that I'll show you that connection string for SatyaDB entities. So this is the connection string which is added by the system while I have created audio.entity data model. So the data source is my SQL Server data source name, and this is the DB name SatyaDB, and integrated security true, and these are the properties for security, and the application is app is entity framework. So this is the connection string which is added by the system while you created the audio.entity data model. Let's go to the next step. Install NuGet package excel data reader dataset for Excel file import. So guys, here right click on this project, your web API project, go to the manage new package, NuGet packages, and I'll copy this package name and select the package. So guys, this package you need to install if it is not installed for your web API application. So once it's successfully done, I'll go through my reference folder, and in reference folder I can verify this DLL for that NuGet package, that is excel data reader dataset. That means this package installed successfully in our application. Let's go to the step 5. We need to create a web API endpoint to save and display Excel records. So guys, here I have created one web API empty controller, that is Excel upload controller.cs inside the controllers folder. Okay, so here you need to add this namespaces which is required, and two important namespaces is Excel reader, that is the for NuGet package, and it is for access the audio.entity data model. So here route prefix API/Excel. While we consume our web API in external application like Angular, React, we need to add the route prefix, and these are the route. For one is HTTP post, our route is upload Excel, and one is HTTP get, route is user details. So I will show first the user details for HTTP get. So this for HTTP get, that is the action name is bind user, and the type is list class, and here the list class will be derived instantiated as a list user, the object, and the SatyaDB entity is nothing but audio.entity data model object, obj entity. Using this obj entity I can access the user details class file, this object of user details table, and the return the list user. So this action method will return all the users from the SQL Server database and display in our web API HTTP GET request and also in the Angular UI application. Second endpoint is upload Excel, that is HTTP post. The method name is Excel upload, and this is the string type. So here I have instantiated the SatyaDB entities to connection to the database. Okay, and the HTTP request, it counts the file. So this HTTP post is used when the user will upload the Excel file using Angular UI. So this using this endpoint, the Excel file will be uploaded successfully, and all the records from Excel will be saved in our SQL Server database of user details table. So here using HTTP request object, this file will be count. Okay, and I have some conditions. If that file name ends with XLS and XLSX, that means it is a Excel file. That then only it will create the binary reader. Okay, and one is create open XML reader. So this will use for the Excel data reader. And if it is not Excel file, then data file format is not supported. So there is a data set, and this Excel reader object will be closed, and there is one variable final record. Whatever the records in the data set, it will be derived from the tables and stored in the final record. And I have used one loop here. So on the final record, whatever the data, I am instantiating the user details table class file using obj user. So I can access all the properties: username, mail ID, gender, address, mobile number, and pin code. So using this obj entity user detail.add, and inside I have passed the obj user. So whatever the details we will get from this loop, it will add inside the object of each user details table or class file, and then using obj entity it will save the changes. So if output 0, then Excel file has successfully uploaded and data is saved in our database. If it is not, file uploaded has failed. In else condition, there is some bad request I have mentioned as the result, and then return message. So this is the code for HTTP post. So guys, for this API controller, I have used this code, so I must scroll from top to bottom. That's all about the code for Excel upload controller.cs. So guys, next step is generate Angular component Excel import. So guys, our next step is step 6. We need to generate Angular component Excel import, and this is the command nggc Excel import. So for that, I'll go to the VS Code. This is the Angular application here is available. So using the terminal, I will execute this command, and once it's executed successfully, I can see under app folder there is one folder Excel import, and they are all relevant to the Excel import components. Excel import component.ts, Excel import component.spec.ts, Excel component.html, Excel component import.component.css. So step 7 is we need to generate Angular model class, that is ngg class model/user. So let's go to my VS Code. So here inside model folder, if you execute this command ngg class model/user in terminal, you will get one inside the folder model. I can see user.ts and user.spec.ts. Step 8, we need to generate the Angular services. So for that, this command is nggs service folder/user. Okay, but here I am not using the user, I am using Excel user.service.ts. Okay, so here this is the command we need to execute in our terminal. So once you execute the terminal for the service, so you can see inside the service folder there is 2 service related files has been created: Excel user service.ts, Excel user.service.spec.ts. So step 9 is we need to add the library app.model.ts file. Let's go to the app.model.ts file. So guys, here in app.model.ts you can see these are the import statements we need to use. Okay, so these are the import statements, and for this video I am creating this component Excel import component, so that it is added here using import, and inside the ng model decorator I am this import statement Excel import component has been added. Okay, so this is a code for app.model.ts. If I'll scroll from top to bottom to capture the code. Step 10 is we need to write all the properties of the user's class related to user details. So go to this file inside models user.ts. So here you guys noticed this class has, in Angular also there is one class user.ts. So this class has the properties user ID, username, mail ID, gender, address, mobile number, pin code, and its type string and number. So this property should be matched with our SQL Server table name, that is user details. Step 11 is open the excel user.service.ts and import the next necessary class and libraries. So guys, here I'll open that service file. Inside the services there is excel user.service.ts. So these are the import statement we need to use, and this model is nothing but the path of the user ts file. And there is, you notice inside the user service there is one URL. So this URL nothing but our web API URL which is running in our local. And there is two methods upload excel. It is calling for http post, which is used for upload the excel and save the records in our database. There is the headers content type, and the headers are the, append as application /JSON, and the http post request, and this dot URL is nothing but this one plus / upload excel. So this is the route for the http post. And same way for bind user method, it calls the http get request. This dot URL concatenate with user details route. It is this endpoint is used for http get request for get the user details. So this is all about code for excel user.service.ts. Step 12, we need to open excel import.component.ts and write the code. So open the excel import.component.ts. So guys, these are the import statements. So most important is we need to mention the path of service and the user ts, and there is a component selector, template URL, style URLs, and the export class excel import component implements the on init interface. And these are the properties I've used for message all user, and this constructor has HTTP client user service class file. Okay, and using HTTP we can access all the properties of HTTP client. Same way for using service we can access the user service class files. So ng on init, so when the page loads first time it will display all the records. Okay, and this load all user, it calls the this dot service dot bind user. So this method is available in our service.ts file. And this upload file method is used for upload the excel file and save the records. Okay, and here this service is calling the upload excel method, which is already have implemented in service.ts. Okay, and this message, if upload successfully, it will display a message, and after then this page will reload and display all the users load in, and it will display in the Angular UI. So this is the code for excel import.component.ts. Step 13, open excel import.component.html and write the code and discuss other app component related files. So I'll open the excel import.component.html. So guys, here the upload button, and here is the upload excel one is upload control, and one is our upload excel button. And this is the message I am used for successfully failed message on the basis of upload excel file. And in the table we have some table headers, and based on the header values it will bind and it will display in the Angular application. So this is the code for excel import.component.html. And in the upload excel button, it is calling for upload file method, which is nothing but for excel save and import in our database. So this upload file already have implemented in excel.component.ts. that is this one, right? So discuss about this file again, excel import.component.html. Yeah, this is the code for excel import.component.html. So step 14, we need to okay, before that we need to also discuss other app component related files. Go to the VS Code. Okay, and here so this Excel import I will discuss Excel import.component.ts, Excel import.component.html, Excel import.component.cs. It's not there is no CSS file. Let's discuss about app component related files. This app.model.ts already discussed, app.component.ts, this is the code, and app.component.spec.ts, app.component.html. so this is the selector for Excel import component for the set the start page, and app.component.css and app-routing.model.ts. so there's no, this is the default code, as I don't have any implementation for this application as well. So step 14, go to app.component.html and set the start page. So app.component.html. So guys, here you noticed I have used one selector for Excel import. So where I'll get this file? So here if you Excel import and Excel import.component.ts. so every component TS file have its selector. So here the selector name is mentioned, so that I need to use inside the app.component.html as the set the start page. Means when our Angular application loads first time, then it will be hit to that particular component HTML based on its selector. And same way for selector I have added in app.component.html. so same way we need to find the selector for app component, that is app.component.ts. so here the selector is app-root. we need to use this selector in index.html. okay, so guys, when our Angular application is loads first time initially, then the index.html will be loading, and based on the app-root, that is nothing but the app.component.html, so that it will hit to the app.component.html, and in app.component.html there is Excel import component, right? So it will hit to the Excel import component.html, and our UI will be displayed of this Excel import.component.html. okay, step 15 is we need to set the cross origin resource sharing in web API. Let's go to my Visual Studio. In app_start folder there is web API config.cs. so here these two lines used for enable the CORS if you want to consume your web API in external application like Angular or React. so there is, you need to add these namespaces. So guys, then step 16, we need to run Angular application. So before that we need to run our API, web API application. okay, so guys, here I need to run my web API application here. okay, before that we need to build our application. Build succeeded. I need to run. So guys, I can see the response in my web API. so remember, this is my web API localhost URL with port number. This is the route prefix API/excel, and user details, it is a HTTP GET request. okay, so while we consume our web API in Angular, we need to use up to this, that is localhost port number, and the this is the route prefix. So as per the step 16, we need to run our Angular application. okay, before that I'll show you one more thing. As I can see only one record, right? Because in our table I have one record in a DB as well. Let's run our Angular application. So click on new terminal. Command is ng-serve. So my Angular application is compiled successfully, and I can see the URL. Copy this URL go to the browser and I'll browse this URL. So guys, here you can see this is the output. I can see the one record in my Angular application as I can retrieve it using our web API. So before uploading this file, I'll show you that is my Excel file I have created. So this is my Excel file records up to 13 rows, right? And this is for username, email ID, gender, address, phone number and pin code, as I can see in my DB as well. Username, email ID, gender, address, mobile number and pin code. So let's upload this Excel file. So click on the choose file, and there is an Excel file, Satya user detail. Select this and upload Excel. So here I can see a Excel file has been successfully uploaded. Also I can see as soon as Excel file is uploaded, I can see all the records. So these records also saved in our DB as well. So step 17, we need to check the records in SQL Server DB. Okay, if you execute again, I can see these other records as well. Before that it was one row, now I can see 14 rows. So 13 rows has been added here from the Excel. Same way we need to refresh the our web API. So I can see all the records, all 14 records I can see in our web API response. Let's refresh it. So I can see in all the 14 records as after the uploading Excel in our Angular UI. Okay, so this is the output I already have discussed. So guys, here I'll show you two things: how to identify the API endpoint using browser inspect element. So click on right click on this, select the inspect element. Okay, click on network and refresh it. So once you refresh guys, this page is loading here and with data, and in the left hand side you can see there is one user details, right? This is the endpoint of our web API. Okay, so here you can see the headers. This is a URL and all the details of headers section of this endpoint. Preview, I can see all the arrays with data and the response, and the response I am getting here from API initiator and timing. So in this way we can identify the API endpoint using browser inspect element. Let's check about the Bootstrap implementation. Okay, so you can check your different devices of your Angular application is Bootstrap support or not. Okay, you select here iPad Pro, Surface Pro 7, iPhone SE XR, right? You can see as well. You select the 100% to yeah. So you can see the for different devices this screen is adjust as per the device width and height. Okay, like this we can check our Bootstrap support in Angular application. So these all steps I have covered, this up to step 17 and the output as well. Let's go to my presentation. So guys, in this way we can import the Excel file using web API in Angular, and after uploading the Excel, the data will be saved in our SQL Server database. And also for responsive, we can implement Bootstrap in our Angular application. So guys, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.